Hello. Welcome back to this week of Adventurers Archive, where a bunch of friends play D&D 5th edition. We have no announcements tonight, but my friend John Matt has a question for everybody.
Hello! So the question for tonight, to understand our characters better, will be the trolley problem. For those of you who don't know, like Riley didn't, the trolley problem is going to be for tonight. There's a train going. You are by the lever that switches the track. It's heading to kill 3 people, but on the other track tied to it is your best friend. Do you pull the lever and make the train run over your friend, or the 3 other people? You can't do something weird like stop the train or anything. That's useless. So you got to choose either the 3 people to die or the 1. So let's start with Dragmere. Do you choose to kill 3 random peoples or your best friend?
Talking to you, Rothgar.
Oh, yeah, me.
Yeah.
I don't have any friends, so pretty much,
Keep going, keep going.
No, that's how you get around. That's how you get around.
Oh, okay,
That's how you get around the moral dilemma.
Okay.
I don't have a best friend, so there would be no one on the track, so I would just pull the lever.
Okay.
Got it.
Marrow.
Well, I would, it's a very hard question to answer. I think God, on one hand I'm killing 3 people, on one hand I'm killing a frog. God. So I guess. I just like frogs. I'm gonna kill the 3 people.
All right.
Yeah.
Well worth it, Marrow. Well worth it. Moving on, Talia.
I would probably need some more information. Can I switch places with any of the people?
No.
It's not allowed.
Not allowed.
In any way, shape, or form.
None.
There's no way I can just...
You're killing 3 or 1 or your best friend. You choose.
I just feel like if they were my best friend, they'd probably choose themselves too. So I'd probably take 1 life instead of 3.
Well, they didn't choose themselves, you chose them.
Yeah, that's fair.
You did.
That's fair.
For the record, you did. It's on your conscience.
But I'm pretty confident that they would want me to choose that.
Excellent. Takashi, what would you do in this situation?
My best friend knows when to cut his losses, so definitely just kill the 1 over the 3.
Wonderful.
I don't want to be best friends with any of you. God, it sounds miserable.
Zindra.
Well, you see, unlike Rothgar, I actually don't have any best friends. So what I would do is somehow rewrite the end, the end of the train route to efficiently kill all 4 people at once.
Edgy, like your character. Wonderful. Riley.
Oh gosh.
As a DM.
As a living person,
Yes.
not a character. How do you answer this
You.
difficult moral dilemma?
And then you have to choose which one of us is your best friend.
Yeah.
Killing him or the 3 people?
Or you-
No. It's
Killing
3
him
random
or
people.
3 of us.
Then the random people, of course.
Okay.
They mean nothing.
All right. Wonderful.
Yeah, you put me in a weird
What
position,
if,
alright?
what if somebody's
What about
child
you?
was one of those random people?
Doesn't matter. Everyone's someone's child.
Because you don't know.
What
'Cause
about
they're
you,
random.
Powder?
I'm not going to answer this the way
no,
I
that
want
was
to,
so smart.
personally.
That is so smart. Everyone is someone's child.
Excellent.
Biology.
My character Powder would probably, I'd probably go with whatever is more efficient. So I would probably just kill the 1 person because I think quantity is more important. However, Havoc would choose. I don't know. I'd flip a coin in the moment. I don't know.
Flip a coin.
What are you looking at?
I like your thinking.
Two-Face over here.
Listen.
Alright.
Didn't stop me last week, so we're gonna just go with it.
Alright.
Fair enough. Well, unless anybody has anything else. Without...
Stop making that face. I'm not gonna be able to keep playing D&D if you keep making that face.
Without further ado, As we stop making whatever face you're making.
I don't know what
I'll
face
bring
I'm
it
having.
on
Like
and
that
see
one
what
right there.
face you're making. Let's play D&D. The lights want to work tonight. Perfect. See how long that lasts. Alrighty. Last week, quite a few things happened. We began session as you guys were in the midst of, well, some of you infiltrating the festival, others of you trying to join the festival, if you will. 3 of our friends had gone into a tent where a massacre had just taken place. Well, a small-scale massacre, only 3 people, so per John Matt's question, it was worth it, because it's not her best friend. But only 3 people, of course. They had found a note in there, kind of letting them know that these unspoken thugs were hired by none other than the Crown themselves. Gasp. Could you believe it? They spoke of doing this to keep everything out west and the ongoings out there to continue unbothered. Whatever that means, who would know that? Next, as we went over to our other 3 folk at the festival, one of our friends met somebody from his past, we could presume. One of them was screaming about hippos and critters running through the festival, while another just onlooked a familiar scene from her upbringing. And that was that clergyman Hoff. Thank you. Murdered a man by the name of Mr. Linwell, which our party knows was told to be dead and murdered before the festival itself. Murdered for the use of magic. While some of our heroes, if you will, begin to grapple with the idea of magic and what it means to live in Clear Meadow and use magic, others saw this as a much more familiar sight, if you will. Next, they would head to a cave, which is where the note would send them. There was a backup of the copy of this wine that they were sent to retrieve from Mordecai, Crimson Whispers. Good memory. They would end up going in and fighting these unspoken thugs. They didn't have much to say. Crimson Whisper. Okay. They would eventually slay these thugs, retrieving the item. They would also find demon remains, a broken portal. One of our friends found a book that she picked up towards the back of the cave. Well, first Rothgar picked it up, but then he so happily gave it to Talia. As they would kind of leave, resolving all of that, on their way out, they would see the same blue flower with almost a blackish, licorice, almost melty sensation towards the middle. They would head back to town where a man looking like Lumiere would invite Zendra up to Morai and Red, the winery, into one of their private rooms. Some accusations were made about Mordecai, and none of them are true. But
None of them
as
will speak in court.
as the rest of our party would head back to the Rinrath Manor, Zendra was pulled by herself by this man looking like Lumiere. There was a guard and a person who looked like Mordecai in there, as they would quickly transform, thinking that they had cast a sleep spell on Zendra, as they would seem to kidnap a younger female that none of you recognize, and they would take the recipe from Zendra. With that being said, where we open session, Zendra, you are laying alone on a cold wooden floor. The fire still stoking towards the back of the room, because you know the Rinrath family loves their fires, leaving a little warmth to kind of hit your feet as you hear the door slam behind you as the 3 brothers, who you know the names of, are leaving. You lay here alone in this dark room, obviously not put to sleep. What is your immediate action?
Before I do anything, I just want to do some quick record keeping just to make sure. So I knew it was Rudla, Olenak and Ravarn.
Yes, sir.
Then you say I don't recognize or know the 14-year-old girl.
Correct.
Okay. And so if I remember right, when we got to just the estate as a whole, my party just was able to continue on, and we took a split, like a fork in the road, to the actual winery itself.
Yeah, as you kind of got to the gated part of the manor, you went off right about 100 feet, and they went off left probably about 200, 300 feet to the Rinrath Manor.
So then I will, I'm assuming, because we're still in the same day, it hasn't been, I mean, we started going into the cave when it was already nightfall.
Sure.
So I had 6 hours on my communication with my two friends.
Yeah.
So first thing I'll do is relay to them to get everybody back to the fork in the road, and there could be a party of 3 abducting a 14-year-old girl that they need to stop.
Sure.
And then so the winery house itself, I'm assuming it's just in the middle of the fields of all the grapes that they grow and everything.
You presume the grapes, from what you've seen, are grown to the side and out back. Nothing to the right side. Almost as you head between the two establishments themselves, it's almost like a lookout over the sea, as it the ragged cliff kind of just takes out kind of vertically down towards the sandy beach.
Okay, so they were heading back out to the gate of the estate. But it's just like open area between them.
For the most part. About 50 feet, maybe 30 feet down the road, you'll get to the town's part, if you will, where some alleyways might become more readily available for people to escape.
Okay. So is there any chance I would be able to... First off, is there any chance I would be able to also exit out the doors of this building without them seeing me?
Your friends or the people?
The 3 brothers.
That would be something you have to roll a perception check for whenever you got to the door and went to exit.
Okay. Then since I've already told my friends, I'm assuming they're
so
gonna tell
as we're resolving that, what does that conversation look like?
So these 2 are both just gonna hear in their heads, gather everybody back at the fork in the road. There are 3 men abducting a young girl. They cannot be allowed to take her. These boys have been misled all of their lives, and I might need your help to stop them.
I was totally right about Mordecai! Guys, we need to go right now!
What?
Follow me! No, seriously, follow me right now! Let's go! Grab everything you need!
Okay.
Let's go!
Okay, what caused the sudden...
Shut up! Let's go!
Okay!
I'm with Rothgard.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. By this time, you all probably would have been entering in the front door of the manor. There was a few minutes of conversation that happened before they attempted this against Zendra. So, who's exiting the house in what order?
I will go first.
I'll go second.
Okay.
I'm going directly behind those 2, just wanting to be a part of the group.
Third.
I'll go last.
Okay, I guess I'm going with the powder. That's fine.
Awesome.
All right.
Okay, cool. First one out, go ahead and roll me a perception check, as well as you, Zendra, because I assume you're jumping up and getting straight to the door.
Perception. I got...
What am I looking for? I need to know if I need to roll.
I assume that you said that you were looking for to see if they're going to look back and see that you exit.
No, but I'm saying, what number check am I looking to?
Oh, you're looking for a 16.
What am I looking for?
You're looking for a 16.
Good to know.
Did you get a 16?
Beat Just barely.
What'd you get?
I'll mark off. I got a 16.
Got a 16. Perfect. Immediately, Rothgar, you exit out with your friends and you see three brothers making their way towards the gates. They are about 10 feet from the gate,
Okay.
if you will. You see the middle one has a girl thrown over his shoulder, and another one's got a crumpled piece of paper in his right hand. You, as you exit, they do not notice that you exit. With a 16, they are looking to get out of here as fast as they can. They're not necessarily looking to pick a fight.
So they're how far away from?
From you guys, 200 feet.
Okay. I can yell loud enough for two.
Maybe one.
They're closer to the gate. The
You
brothers
don't
are
have
than
to
the
actually
Oh, I
yell
know.
that loud.
I know.
though.
I already got yelled at. It's okay.
No.
I'm gonna storm out the door. I'm gonna yell down towards them. You guys need to stop what you're doing right now.
Little spittle coming out there.
I'm just taken aback at actual kidnapping. You hear about it in the newspaper all the time.
Yeah.
And the town yeller is yelling about it frequently. You
Yeah.
never really see kidnapping firsthand. So I'm gonna start dashing down there, yelling, trying to get them to.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, yeah.
Sure.
I'm intentionally. I like to make this specific. I'm intentionally trying to get not just their attention, but townspeople in the town as well's attention.
Sure.
I'm just screaming, "Stop them! Kidnappers!"
You can speak a little louder than that. That's okay.
I'm
But,
okay.
oh, okay, fair enough.
I would love to wild shape into an elk and just.
Would I be able
completely
to adorn?
Just
Yeah,
bellowing
you're
like an
perfectly
elk.
able to wild shape into an elk. With that being said, you would need to roll me a athletics check to take the back of this elk willingly. How much does your elk weigh?
My elk?
Yes.
It doesn't have a weight.
How much do you
Doesn't
think
have
as
a
an
weight.
elk
A
you would
standard
weigh?
elk
An
would
elk
probably be
are
around
huge.
Hear me out.
Okay.
70, 80
They're
pounds.
really big.
Okay.
Elk weight.
What was your athletics check, sir?
700 to 1,100 pounds.
Okay. Fair enough. What was your athletics
Elks
check?
are,
That's
elk are
deer.
huge.
It was
Yeah.
I was thinking of
4 plus 5, 9 total.
Plus, add a 1.
But
we
he's
rolled
willing.
19.
He's willing, and I'm also willing.
Very willing.
Very
He's
willing.
ready and he's willing.
Yeah. With a 9, as you're attempting to adorn the back, you do slow this elk down a little bit in whatever speed.
That's
as
fine.
you're kind of pulling him by the scruff to
My
kind
dash speed is 100 feet.
of. Yeah, sure.
So, I
This is
don't know what that
gonna.
slows me down to.
Yeah, no. This is gonna be. That's good. This is gonna be resolved a little different than combat.
An
It's
elk
really
can
turning
run
point.
up to 40 miles per hour, DM.
You're right. In D&D, that is 100 feet per turn.
Good.
Dash speed. Got it. Anybody else have anything?
I'm just gonna take
I
off
have
running.
no
after
idea
that.
what's
Yeah.
happening. There's an elk.
is-
All of a sudden, Rothgar's trying to climb on it. I'm hesitant to run after whatever they're doing.
You see this elk is just... You are grabbing onto moss that is just adorned from the elk's antlers at this point, and that it rips a little bit, so you have a hard time getting on. But it is just decrepit, and it definitely should not be able to run.
Good to know.
Another question of clarification: is the gate just kind of like a wire fence going around?
It's open, wide open. It's more of you're thinking stone walls from each side kind of hold the manor in Morai and red behind it. But the gate's just open. It doesn't necessarily have doors that shut.
Okay. So the only entrance out of the entire property is the gate. There's no
Or hopping the fence.
There's no other visible.
Kind of half stone wall, kind of about a foot or two, then the rest is like a fence.
Then can I book it to not the brothers, but in either a diagonal or just a straight of a line to the fence to try to get the wall to get over the wall?
Yeah, you definitely can. Yeah. With about a 60-foot dash, if you will, you're going to make it to where you're still going to be in the property. Mechanically, there's no way anybody catches up on foot.
What about hoof?
On hoof, being 200 feet away, mechanically, you're still only covering half the distance before they start running. With that being said, I'm more than happy for our two closest, which would be an elk and Zendra, to roll perception check as they're going to make their way kind of off into the city. Kind of dashing through the dead of night as the moonlight kind of shines out upon them.
+5.
You are also going to watch as one drops something out of his back pocket and smoke emerges from it. So you will be rolling at
Doesn't
disadvantage.
matter. He's smoke proof. Elks are smoke proof.
How do you know so much about elk?
Animal Planet.
Man.
11.
Okay.
Damn, that would have been nice. I had this. At a 10, would getting anywhere within a +6 potentially. Okay.
I mean, yeah, actually, sorry. A mistake.
What am I looking for?
You're looking for a 15.
Right, 5 or a 6. Nope. Don't.
I'm gonna go ahead and use my knowledge from a past life ability, which allows me to roll a d6 to the check.
Okay.
So, because I'm at 11, so I'm hoping
4
something.
plus.
That's a 1.
Yep.
That's a
Same. Same.
What about your other past life?
What about each 99 lives?
Yes, sir.
Would our barbarian on the back of an elk not be able to
If he had cleanly adorned the back of this elk, for sure. But
Don't you
he
think-
is still
Don't you think that after 100 feet I would have gotten my footing though?
He is.
He's no Legolas.
You know what? I tell
get
you what.
on to
Roll me
that
another
one.
athletics check with disadvantage this time, because you didn't have the most cleanest
Okay.
initial.
Decent.
16.
16.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Pretty good.
Rothgar, go ahead and roll me a perception
He's
check
an
with
athlete.
disadvantage.
This is it.
Okay, come on. Not gonna happen, buddy. I got a 9.
A 9.
Not bad.
None of you necessarily
So
catch them
minus
as smoke
yeah,
begins to
7.
enshroud the streets, and your
Still
shouting
doesn't matter.
does eventually catch the attention of a few passerbyers. As they kind of turn over, these village folk kind of watch as a decrepit elk is being ran from the Rinrath Manor down to the street with a guy jumping on his back. As
It's like an
A few of these
Paul Revere.
they you would assume make their way off into one of the alleyways,
Look like the
if
headless
you would.
horseman.
As you guys eventually make it to the gate, I'm just going to say all of you guys get there within a few seconds.
I'm trying to travel somewhat separately-ish.
Oh,
Because
okay.
Zendra has an idea, but
Yeah, sure. Are you attempting to jump the wall kind of off
Yeah.
to the left then?
I'm just trying to get over the wall. That way I can try to follow them. If possible.
Yeah, from the manor, as the smoke kind of dissipates, with how large the smoke radius was, there's about 6 or 7 alleyways they could have made their way through. Would that affect your decision of which one you're necessarily going to run down, or?
I'm gonna check 1 through 6.
Am I being steered?
Yeah, I have your
Steered?
antlers at this point. I'm like, look down this one. I accidentally snap your neck.
It just turns all the way around.
In confusion, as the 5 of you make it to the fence, and Zendra, I'm just going to say you go and you hop the left end of this fence, maybe about 30, 40 feet down. What are you all doing as you kind of got this unclear direction, but you know you're chasing somebody and you don't really know where they went?
I am attempting, as an elk,
Yeah.
to speak to passerbys and just, anybody see 3 people? I don't know what they're doing, but it's 3 people.
That's
I don't
definitely
even
what
know
it
how an
sounds
elk makes sound.
It's bad.
A decrepit
Real
elk at
bad.
that. A dying cow almost.
So I'm gonna look at all my compatriots at this point. Be like, okay, we almost got him. So pretty much what we're gonna do now is you go down this alley right here. You go down that way. Go down that alley. You go down that alley. I know you're a lady. I know it's dark at night. Just
I have no idea what's going
go
on.
down the alley, and we're gonna
do
find
what?
the kidnappers.
What kidnapper?
The kidnappers. You saw them, obviously.
I did not.
Running.
That's me trying to talk to you. And
Obviously, the elk remembers.
You guys were in front of me. I have no idea what's going on.
I'm not that big.
Okay. That's
Can my
obviously not what the
character look to
conversation's
see if
about.
there's tracks on the ground?
That's what I was gonna do. Because if they're running, they're using more pressure. Can I do investigation?
This is why my intelligence is not my highest strength.
Yes. You go ahead. Are you wanting to join up with them wherever they exited the gate, or? kind of down by them, or you wanting to stay down to the left? Because there wouldn't be any tracks wherever you hop necessarily, the fence.
Well, I was figuring I was going to hop and then try to still head towards
Oh, you're heading towards
the
them?
gate from
Okay.
just this side
Yeah.
to see if I potentially cut them
Sure.
off.
Go ahead and roll me an investigation.
Oh, investigation.
Yes, sir.
Do you still want me to use the same dice roll, or do you want me? I rolled for perception.
No, you have to re-roll for investigation.
Was it a good roll? If
You
not,
can re-roll. That's fine. Was it bad or good?
It was not good. It's the same thing. 15
15. Okay.
That's not horrible. Plus your modifier?
plus 5. Yeah.
Okay.
I rolled a 10.
Nice. Nice.
Havoc.
doorway number.
Anyone but you would probably have to roll at disadvantage due to dealing with particles. But you... Particles, you know.
We're just gonna go with it.
But you know how well dust moves off the ground because you stared at ground for so long in your life. So often you've just looked at the rocky street and looked at how dust moves. With a 15, you notice that they either went through alley 1, 2, or 3. And it looks like there's footprints down each of them.
I will relay that to the group that, guys, down one of these 3 alleys, they moved. It looks like they all moved different ways, but we should just book it if we're tracing after them.
Do we all go down separate alleyways?
Just
Or
go.
Zendra's immediately going down alley 3.
Okay.
Me and the elk are gonna go down alleyway 1.
I'll go down alleyway 2 after seeing those.
Okay.
I'll check out alleyway 3.
Okay.
It's like I'm following the
3,
rabbit.
2, 1.
All right, Alice.
We're down the hole. Let's go. See where it takes me.
We will resolve alleyway 3 first. As you guys begin to take off down the 3rd alleyway, this one eventually leads you to an opening of the town marketplace. Rather quiet this late at night normally, but with the festival that had been going on, the city streets are packed with townsfolk. There's little confetti cannons being shot off through the air. There's fireworks going off in the starry night. There's a bunch of torches emitting light. You're going to need a near impossible perception check for the 2 of you that came here. If both of you want to make one for me. You're looking for honestly, probably, what does it say impossible on my sheet here? 30.
That's not.
A what?
A 30.
30.
Oh.
I don't even
I
know.
don't think either of them.
Nat 20s.
Natural 20 does get it.
Nope.
You guys feel as if they ran through this crowd. You're not going to be able to find them. There's so much commotion, so much shouting, so much excitement that could be mistaken for
No one's like.
fear and terror. You're not able to distinguish the difference in this tight space. So we go to alleyway 2. You guys, running through this long, expansive alleyway, head to a dead end with a stone wall that heads upward. Powder, you kind of catch just barely a foot that goes over the wall. It's about 40 feet high.
Can I use rabbit hop?
Yeah, how far does Rabbit Hop get you?
10 feet?
10 feet?
10
It
feet.
would get you 10 feet off the wall, which would make your check to climb the rest of the wall a little lower.
Mario.
Go ahead and roll me an acrobatics check. Your DC is going to be set a little lower.
Powder. May I give you some guidance while we're in this alleyway?
Please.
Fabulous.
You feel a little boost off your bottom.
Yeah.
Roll a d4 with your d20.
So that is with my acrobatics 12.
Okay?
16.
16. Almost with uncanny magical speed.
It's crazy.
You jump your 10 feet with your rabbit hop up, and you quickly scare this wall as a rabbit would.
As they're infamous too.
You about 30, 40 feet down see, running the rooftops, a man who is just running over the rooftops. All these houses kind of come to a Nordic little point, if you will, and so he is running these skinny wooden
Main beams.
trusses,
Channels.
if you will. He is making his way towards the north side of the city.
Okay. At this point, I'm trying to I'm trying to get to him.
Yes.
I will yell on the top of my lungs. They're heading north as I continue pursuit.
Okay. We'll continue pursuit. Talia. That leaves you in the alleyway.
I hear him. I'm going to head out of the alleyway because I can't get up there. And I'm going to go north.
Okay. Perfect.
Do any of the rest of us hear that, or it was just in that alleyway?
You guys are about to. You guys are probably down the.
I'm just wondering first.
It would be a tough. It'd take a natural 20 for you guys to hear him through
canonically,
all the
1, 2,
ruckus.
and 3 are all next to each other, so.
Yeah, but they lead different paths,
Like
some
Diagon
north,
Alley.
some south, some west, maybe east too. Even though you're coming from east. So,
Wow.
What about Weast?
This will bring us to alley 1.
Or Snorth.
The two of you are trotting down this alley, and immediately as you're
Click-clacking down the way.
down off of the wood, you're gonna roll me a perception check real fast.
Which one? Both of
I'm
us?
talking about the elk.
16.
A 16.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
As you go to turn a sharp corner, you immediately come to a halt before you run these two people over. There are 2 crown guards standing in this alleyway walking, and are you going to run them over? You hear that there's people around the corner.
Yeah.
Are you running them over, or are you stopping at a halt?
Yeah, how much am
One second.
I able to attempt to throw him over? I'll stop at a halt, but I want to butt kick him over them.
Oh my god. 8 feet vertically.
You could either attempt to hop,
Yeah.
or you could give him
Fuck 'em
advantage to be thrown over, the 2 of them.
Give him advantage to be thrown over.
Okay. You're gonna roll me a athletics check with advantage to clear these guards as they kind of stop and then.
9 plus 5.
Okay.
And then 15 plus 5.
With the strength of your
20.
dirty 20, you kind of push yourself off of this elk as you come. Your 2 back legs off, almost just like a stopping car, and these guards immediately, as I'm assuming you're going to continue to pursue
Yeah.
and hot chase, kind of
Hot
look at you,
chase.
and they just kind of go to pull their swords. Halt! In the name of the. As they both look at each other, they just kind of.
I would like to turn around, pick up some dust, and run the other direction.
You'll do so. They would attempt to chase you, but they will not be able to catch up.
Get that out!
The zombies!
You do hear them call in over a peripheral walkie. There's an elk running rampant in the city. Sector C.
God.
Oh no. Quick, just once you get out of the
Once
line
I
of
get
sight,
there, yeah.
change.
Rothgard, you are still taking off down this alley, and you get taken out towards the north side of the city.
Taken out like I'm put out,
As
or
you-
like I'm like.
Exit this alley to the northern-ish side of the city where the entrance is. You see about 100 feet ahead of you a little horse-drawn carriage, if you will. There's one guy sitting in it. With a perception check, which you'll roll me. 13.
I got
It
great
doesn't
vision.
take much to notice. Up to your right, you see a guy jumping off the top of a roof with a rabbit not too far behind him. The other guy you see about 30 feet from the carriage with a lady over his shoulder. What do you do?
I'm going
We'll come to
to.
you in a second.
I'm going to first and foremost message to my friends. They're exiting the north side of the city into what I'm assuming is a forest and a covered wagon.
Looking out about a mile or 2, if you will. There is a little bit of brush that they could escape into.
So that's what I'm going to do first. Can this... You'll probably do that. Can you roll to see how well they both land jumping from a rooftop?
I already rolled for my friend. That
He
was jumping from the
succeeded?
rooftop. He succeeded the check.
Okay.
We're gonna come over to our
Okay,
wagon
that's what I
here in a
was like. It's
second.
like maybe
I
like break
believe
roll
as
his
a
ankle.
Paragon, correct me if I'm wrong, he has something with falling. He doesn't. He falls great. You might know this from our last campaign. Nothing. Okay.
No.
Cool. Never mind.
No, everything I had was.
I do
For the
have,
monk.
if I make a dexterity saving throw, I can add a d4.
Okay. Got it.
Um,
Yeah. What are you doing
No,
before we
so
get
I see him fall and he starts running. I see, and I immediately see Powder coming right behind him.
Mm-hmm.
Do I see
40
anyone?
feet. Yeah.
I see anyone else at this point? Nope.
It's pretty clear towards the north side.
So I'm gonna just do the thing in my brain, and I'm gonna keep on dashing.
Okay. Sure. You two pick this up. You know that you're far from the north side of the city as you got taken out almost towards the center point. You keep dashing towards this man. Roll me a dexterity saving throw as you are jumping off of this 40-foot roof.
No hesitation.
If you fail this save, you will take fall damage, which is 1d6 per 10 feet. If you succeed, you will take half of the fall damage.
What'd your buddy take?
He took 2d6.
I'm gonna do a d4, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do I have to get over?
You're looking for a 15 here.
I do not.
Okay. Havoc, you watch as the man that you're in hot pursuit of lands gracefully almost into a somersault roll, takes a little damage on his coat of the back, but then takes off in a dash. You feeling you're feeling good. You're on the rooftops of a city. You go to jump off and your foot just barely catches the wooden truss and you fall, taking 14 points of bludgeoning damage as you smack into the stone surface and fall prone. As you lay here on the ground, you watch as you're about 40 feet away from the wagon.
Okay.
This other guy, the guy with the girl, kind of throws her on the back and goes to take the reins of the horses up front. The other guy is probably 25 feet from the wagon. You're probably 40 from it.
Okay.
This is going to, you would assume, be your last chance.
Sorry, my character's prone. Does that prevent him from...
You fall prone. It would be, technically, if we're doing this in the D&D turn sense, which we're not really, as you fall prone, you'd go half speed on your next turn. So which means that at this point, it would take you a second to get up and dust yourself off from the damage to keep continuing running. If you were to fire something from a range, there's a potential that you could maybe do something, but...
Can I try?
Yeah, we will come to
Yeah,
you.
that's right.
Yeah. Rothgard.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do, dog? This guy that has not made it on the carriage does have something crumpled up in his right hand.
And I'm alone at this point.
Yeah, Paragon are about 60 feet back.
Have I made it there yet? No, probably not.
You ran all the way down the alley and run all the way back out.
That's-
And you also don't know it's towards the north side of the town because you're not in the message.
No.
No,
he
Powder
was-
told me.
Powder told
Oh.
her.
Yeah.
That's why I ran.
Sorry. Yeah.
But I mean, I was a little further away, so I wasn't sure if I was there yet.
I'm going to run and try and grapple the man that's 25 feet away.
Okay. He's going to move away from you, so you're attempting to stop him from getting on the
Wagon.
Sure. This is going to be a grapple check. So, first and foremost, we're going to roll to see if you catch up.
Okay.
Acrobatics is dexterity, correct? We're going to first roll an opposed acrobatics check to see if you have a chance to body check him here onto the ground. What's that face for?
Just not giving any of my secrets away.
Oh, okay. You want me to roll this on your dice tower?
Sure. Oh, a 2.
A 2 plus a 5, so you have to beat a 7 to attempt to body check him.
And I'm rolling out of athletics or acrobatics.
Your dexterity one first. This is to see if you catch him.
A 15.
Yep. You're going to catch him,
Okay.
and then you're going to roll an opposed athletics check to knock him down.
Okay.
He has a 14. You have to beat.
That's the wrong guy.
I know.
An 11 plus 5.
Ooh.
You successfully. So the weight of your body runs into this man. You guys are probably 10 feet from the cart at this point. You body check him onto the ground. As he looks up, you begin to see his skin covered in almost white pale. Ashy, if you will. He's got a simple black leather shawl. It's gonna be the new word though. Shawl on that kind of comes off to just reveal brown hair, just a white, almost drained face. Scars kind of running down the right hand side onto his neck. He's got kind of like a golden rope around his belt, you presume.
Like a monk almost?
Yeah, sure, ish.
Okay.
He kind of looks up at you with no emotion. As he goes to kind of stand, he kind of just goes, if you want to have it. He kind of coughs up blood a little bit. He goes to hand you the recipe.
As I'm doing this, I'm just gonna punch him in the gut.
Okay. Go ahead, roll to hit. He's gonna. We're gonna come to you in a second to see what you want to do. What'd you roll to hit?
Oh my god.
Oh no.
What'd you roll to hit?
I'm winded for sure, dude.
What'd you roll to
I'm
hit?
winded for sure. It's so much that I like pull a muscle. I rolled a nat 1.
Okay, perfect. You're going to roll me a save here as he kind of touches you back, if you will.
Oops.
Well, I got necromancy.
You are going to roll. Real fast, John Matt, what are you wanting to do?
Catch up.
So, how far am I away from the horse-drawn cart?
As you get up and begin to run 80 feet.
80 feet.
Mm-hmm.
You can dash that far.
Let me think. Sorry. Do I have half movement or no?
Your half movement is what gets you to about 80 feet. You have a feeling that whatever this is about to be resolved by the time you would get there. So, like, at this moment, what you're seeing is Rothgar goes to punch him, and did you roll a natural 1? You can tell he whiffs.
Okay. How
I
far
dropped
is
my
How far
bifocals.
is Rothgar from me?
From you,
80 feet.
70.
70 feet.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be a little closer. My character is going to. First off, I'm obviously switching over to Havoc because this is starting to become combat.
Yeah.
My character is going to grab a bomb out of his pack and use catapult towards the carriage's wheels.
Okay. Sure. You want to tell the audience what catapult does?
Yeah, so catapult chooses one object weighing 1 to 5 pounds within range that isn't being worn or carried. The object flies in a straight line up to 90 feet in a direction I choose before falling to the ground, stopping early if it impacts against a solid surface. If the object would strike a creature, that creature may make a dexterity saving throw, or on a failed save, the object strikes the target. Basically allows me to throw bomb far.
Sure.
Yes.
Do you have to roll anything to hit, or would that
Not
just
if
be?
it's an object.
Yeah. None of it's an object. Okay.
And I'm using a regular bomb here.
A regular one.
Yeah, I think I'm out of magic ones.
You might be.
Yeah.
Go ahead. If there's not a save or anything to be rolled for catapult, you're gonna throw this bomb towards the wagon.
Catapult it.
You're gonna catapult it. Yes, kind of magically sends it out of your hand from your backpack. You are gonna roll me I don't believe you do roll me a saving throw for sleep.
You're telling me that Havoc doesn't have an actual catapult in his backpack?
It would take a long time to get out in there.
This is also a straight line. That would be annoying.
That's
Yeah.
fair. That's fair.
You ever seen what those soccer players do?
Oh my
Just
God,
like
there's no
when
save.
They
You
go
just
over,
gotta
they do
roll
the whole
for
flip
this.
thing. That's where you just
I'm actually immune to all sleeping devices.
Are you really?
CPAPs.
people's hands.
What do you roll over there, brother?
I feel like for every one roll we do, Riley does 6.
Correct. He just likes rolling dice. That's why he plays.
He just waits for the best one.
45 hit points of sleep. I think it's safe to say you knock
That
out.
man is zonked.
As you
45
feel,
hit points of sleep?
So
yes,
it's
so
not
actual
actual
hit
damage.
points
It's
are under 45.
you
You
get
go
put
to
to
sleep. Kind of
Oh.
You
I
have
was
to.
like,
tell
I'm
him
doing the
something.
math in my head. Like, am I just?
in response to you whiffing, you kind of just
You're just gonna calm it down.
as the grass kind of has a windy substance that kind of goes by it. You kind of just feel as you miss your punch, you kind of just fall and just bang your head on the ground. Kind of goes.
No, my trap is always you're too big. I kind of just.
You fall backwards. Okay,
I fall
fair.
backwards. My head doesn't hit the ground.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
It's that beefy.
You kind of just hear as you're falling asleep. Is that all Zendra's friends have? And then, right by the wagon.
I can choose when it drops. So it doesn't go like... My spell allows me to like be like, okay, drop. Because it does say that in the description of the
Drop
spell.
as in.
As in, like, hit the ground.
So it's like a
So
90
it's almost like
degree.
direction.
I thought it's just like you send it out straight if it hits something, or if you drop it.
So I'll read it one last time to make sure.
What are you wanting to do?
He wants to
The
pull
object
up a
flies in a
wheel.
straight line up to 90 feet in a direction you choose before falling to the ground, stopping early.
Okay. What are you wanting to try and do here?
I don't know if
Describe
it's
it
the
to
direction
me.
I choose or
Are you
the
trying
falling
to
to the
prevent the
ground.
wagon from working?
You're just trying to
Yeah.
What are you wanting to do?
I
disable
want
the
to
wagon.
disable the wagon.
Yeah.
Is
Towards the wheel.
yes.
Sure thing. Roll damage for a bomb.
Should have blown up a horse.
You don't even know what's out of this.
If they ain't got no horse, they gonna run. Here we go.
3d6 fire damage,
Sure.
and then I think
3d6. Most people call it 36, but you know.
3,
Okay.
3,
Okay.
1.
300.
Do we want to also count the catapult damage? I'm going for the wheel.
Sure. Go ahead and roll that.
Okay.
Right now you're at 7.
So that is 3d8 bludgeoning damage.
Yep. I want to let you know against these metal wheels, it's going to be half for bludgeoning
I
damage.
did not know they were metal. We probably should have asked that first. 2,
Okay.
5,
Okay. Got it.
6, 3.
Was it 3d8 or 4d8?
3d8.
Got it.
2,
so
5,
don't
6.
count the last 2, 5, 6. Got it.
What wagon
13.
has metal wheels?
I'm 13.
It's called a car.
No.
Dealing a total of 13 damage, this wagon will send
13,
like-
well, 13. Oh,
Yep,
fire damage
7.
is also halved?
You had 7 fire damage, then you halved your 6 to 3, you halved your 5 to 2, and you halved your 2 to 1.
We roll down?
Yeah.
Having down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Alright.
we
Down,
have.
down.
We always have down.
Okay.
It's better for us.
Don't hate me, hate the rules.
Hate the player, not the game.
Hate the player, not the game. This wagon wheel, you needed 15 damage. It barely is holding on enough to where you watch as this last guy gets on and just kind of goes, "Later, sucker," and then the wagon wheel just.
That's not the last guy.
He hops on. The third person hops on.
You said he saw one person in there and one
person in the
jumping off
wagon.
the roof.
One person steering the wagon, one person running with the girl, the third guy.
No, he said
Let me
there was
make
one
this straight.
person getting to the wagon
Here.
with the girl,
Here,
and then
let me
there
make
was
this
one
easy for
person
you.
up.
One person was already in the wagon.
Right.
The second person dropped the girl off, got in the front. He was fighting the third, who was 10 feet from the wagon.
Okay, I thought it was the person who got there, put the girl, and then got up front.
No,
I
the
was-
wagon was already moving as everyone was running towards it.
I'm with you here. What wagon has metal wheels in this?
The one
I
that
guess you'll have to
Really
find
the
out.
one that
Expensive
was
one.
not supposed to be stopped at this
A
point.
very expensive
Let's
one.
just say it has some sort
Yes.
of armor.
I guess you'll have to head west and find out.
Maybe there's something to
You know,
do
we're just gonna
with
go
the
east.
plot.
We don't care.
Isn't it out the north gate? Why are we heading west?
As this wagon,
They're coming back towards us!
wagon begins to take off down the main road west, Talia, you'd be the first to catch up with the others slowly as Rothgar is out in the
No,
field.
she's saying you're the first to catch them.
You'd be the first to catch up to the two laying in the field right outside of Rock Shield. As you guys all eventually kind of mosey your way right out here, Rothgar, you eventually kind of wake up from your slumber as he leaves the range of view.
That blows.
You feel in your hand a piece of paper.
Oh, I still have it? So does that mean we have both copies now? The
We don't know what's
original
on that.
and the...
We have one
The
copy.
originals with
Yeah.
the lady who entered the tent.
Because they took your copy. Okay.
You haven't looked at the paper yet.
Oh, it's probably just like a crude picture or something.
Upon seeing that, Talia definitely remembers that we brought a body back with us from that cave when it was unconscious.
Did you drop it and leave it?
I wasn't carrying it. Somebody else was. What did we do with that guy?
It was definitely me.
So you dropped the body back at the.
I mean, he's bound, so
Yeah.
hopefully he's just chilling.
I mean, he's bound in at 1
The
HP.
hallway.
0.
Or 0 HP, yeah.
He's alive. He's 0.
As you all sit here in the field, the moment's yours.
So we're all together now. Zender's
You
there
all are
too.
together. Yep.
Say I drop my elk shape so I can actually talk.
What just happened?
Well, I'm confused. So pretty much what I saw was you guys didn't do butt kiss to do anything.
Whoa.
The only one that did anything was this dude right here, broke his ankle falling off a roof.
Whoa,
This guy,
whoa.
this guy's a superhero over here in an elk
Thank
form. Let me tell you, it doesn't smell that much better as an elk. But you gotta do what you
But
gotta
it is
do.
better.
I don't know how or when or where you can't. Well, I can't blame you, but you. What happened to you guys?
I can't scale a wall. We went down the second alley. He jumped the wall. I had to come all the way back.
I don't know why you scale a wall. You scale a fish. You climb a wall. It's not that hard.
And my alley led me too far away.
What's that paper in your hand?
Oh, this one. I'm gonna open it.
It reads the recipe.
Mm-hmm. But
It reads the
That's what
recipe.
we have to give Mordecai.
Well, did he ever read the recipe to know if it reads the recipe?
He never did.
Yeah. And
Does it have frog's blood? If it's got frog's blood, it's the
Alright.
recipe. Not
It does
happy
indeed
about
look
it.
like the same copy that you pulled
But
from
I-
the cave.
So
I'll bundle it up and hand it to Powder. You can hold on to it. This is why I don't work with other people. But we gotta do what we gotta do.
you don't work with other people. What are you talking about? We're the only ones that did anything.
Let's
What?
go back to Mordecai's estate.
Yeah.
Wait for him to show up.
By the way, the Crown's Guard are busy looking for an elk, so if anybody needs to do anything...
What'd they do to Mordecai?
Probably
And
nothing.
Lumineer?
Nothing. They just took his shape.
They seem to be westbound, even though they left out the north gate. Do you know any place they could have possibly been going?
The entire continent's west, so your guess is as good as mine.
do you still want to explain like what
No.
was
No, I
happening?
really don't.
Like, okay, we just
So-
ran after these people. They're kidnapping somebody. We don't
We
know
had
who that person
I
kidnappers.
thought you guys are good people. You'd want to stop people
We
kidnapping a 14-year-old
definitely
girl.
tried. I just,
That's not, answer enough for you.
I guess it is.
What are you talking about? I literally tried.
Yes,
I
you
tried
tried.
so hard. And I fell so far. But in the end, it didn't even matter.
Exactly.
And you're telling me now that I didn't do anything?
I didn't say you didn't do anything. I just said that this is why I don't work with other people usually.
Well, I don't know how to please you, but I don't know. And I'm just gonna start walking towards back to Mordecai's.
Whatever they're doing is their business. I say we just leave it alone and do what we were paid to do.
Maro, they kidnapped a horse.
Son of a... Son of a frog! Let's get him! Who does that? What are they gonna do to the horse?
Why'd you tell them they kidnapped a horse?
Why does everybody have this thing against
Marrow
animals?
will
What?
be okay. I know where they live. We'll get revenge for you.
But I don't want revenge. I want a horse.
You want to have the
Don't
horse,
you want
or
to
you want
get revenge for
right.
the horse?
I guess that's my second option. My first option would be the horse. Set him free. I don't know. I could take him back to the swamp if I really needed to. I don't think that they track very well.
I imagine we're not going to catch the people we're pursuing now. Let's head back to Mordecai's, because if I recall, we had a body with us
We did.
of a pretty nasty
I'm about
adversary.
30-40 feet away
Yeah.
at this point.
So we're
I
just
don't
heading
remember
back.
that, but yeah.
We definitely had a body.
No.
And we let that
I'm
body hit the
definitely
floor.
very irritable. It
You're
is
not there.
late. I am tired.
You just say from 30 to 40 feet. We let the body hit the floor. Let the body hit the floor.
And then I stub my toe. And I'm like,
You're getting copyright striked again.
I'm gonna hang back of it by Takashi, and I'm just gonna ask him, hey, just go with them and see. I want to check on something while there's still a bunch of people about in town.
Are you positive you don't want me or
No,
any of us to
I
stick
don't
around?
want the rest of them worrying about where I might be, so
Sure. Alright.
just
So angsty.
Okay. Takashi, you leave with the others back towards Rinrath Manor. While Zendra, that leaves you alone. What are you doing?
So Zendra heard something from them about stuff that they saw at the festival.
Okay.
So Zendra, I'm gonna go to just a dark alleyway,
Mm-hmm.
see if make sure like there's nobody in it or anything.
Sure.
And Zendra's gonna try and use her mask.
Okay.
Is like, I'm assuming it'll work if it senses the person, or it just won't work.
Yeah.
She's gonna try to sense Sir Raiden Angui.
Yeah. You adorn this mask, and as it touches your skin, it almost becomes one with you as you watch your body begin to shift into Sir Angui as your form changes completely, taking all of his physical appearances, his black thick mustache, his bushy eyebrows, his combed back hair. Older gentleman, but you do take his appearance.
And then I'm going to try to head towards the church.
Of the church of the town?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. You begin to head your way there as the rest of our party makes it back within the gate of the manor. As you head back to the front door, you look where you left this tied up man right in front there. We're gonna see what happened to him. He's chilling. He's asleep still. Unconscious. Mouth still sewn together.
Okay.
What do the five of you do?
Find a dungeon and throw this guy in it and get a shower.
As you guys enter once again into the front door of the Runrath Manor, you enter the grand foyer once again. Atmosphere of elegance, polished marble floors for those of you who forgot, soft glows of chandeliers from the ceiling. Portraits of the Runrath family are still adorned against the walls, telling of their legacy. You kind of hear coming down the stairs, really fast pitter-pattering. My friends, Lumiere kind of goes, How was the mission?
Lumiere!
Yes.
Hold on, wait.
The real one, I think.
Look me in the eyes.
Don't.
Hey, don't. Right here.
Yeah.
Right.
looks serious at you.
You real?
Yeah.
Alright, he's good.
Alright, so
What?
What do you mean? Am I real?
there's somebody that is stealing your identity. You and Mordecai's identity, to be in fact. And they stole a little girl, put her on the wagon.
Oh.
So it better not be you.
Oh no.
I don't know how you would have got back here, though.
I've been here. What's he talking about? As he kind of looks to the rest of you.
I don't know. Nobody's explained anything to me.
As he looks at you and the undead goblinoid speaks first, he looks towards the rest of you. What happened?
He speaks the truth.
Somebody took
You
my
approached
form.
us outside.
It wasn't me. I'm sorry.
That's what an imposter would say.
I swear to it. If there's a way I can prove, was it magical or was it physical?
Good question.
They only took
Where-
Zendra.
Where's Zendra?
Where's
Good
Zendra?
Well, she stayed behind and said she was gonna look around for some stuff.
Maybe they took the form of Zendra too. We don't know if that was the real Zendra coming out of the house. Do you still have your the recipe though in
Yes.
your backpack?
Yes, I do.
I'm thoroughly confused.
So
I am
what
glad
I'm
to.
thinking is happening is that the Zendra we saw 30 minutes ago, it's not the real Zendra.
Before anything, how did
we know to go after them then if they were...
Well, yeah,
I didn't
that's
know
what I
anybody
wanna
was
know.
being kidnapped. I just heard you screaming.
How did we
and followed after you.
How did we know that they were heading? There was someone kidnapped at the gate. We were facing the polar opposite way.
And the plot thickens.
Does anybody else have any insight? Because he seems a little...
I don't know what happened.
No, so
I don't think anything happened with Zendra. She's who she says she is. There's no clone or copy or...
It sounds as if a lot of you are confused. Do you want to wash up and meet for a nice meal?
Well, we
Yes.
have this.
Or
We
I was told to deliver it to Mordecai, so I shall deliver it to Mordecai.
oh, of course. Maybe you all go wash up and get a good night's rest, and we'll reconvene in the
Yes.
morning about what happened tonight. It seems a lot of you are a little confused. Maybe a
You have-
night out at the festival, if you will.
Do you have anywhere we can keep this guy?
I'm kind of carrying him like.
Yes. He kind of claps his two hands together, and that big old brooding steel plate guard kind of comes through and just kind of grunts at you, and then goes and takes him down a left wing.
You got nice help around here.
The best. Anybody need anything brought to their rooms, or?
Momentarily, with our friend there, you are going to want to bound him pretty well. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he tried to off himself.
Don't
Am I
worry,
correct?
Ruthie will take care of him.
Okay.
Would it be possible to get some type of like health potion? I took quite a beating on this mission.
Well, I could help you.
Well,
I didn't know you needed help.
Personally, I mean, I feel like a good night's rest always heals up everything, and that's what my mom at least taught me.
You know what? Mothers are never wrong.
But if you're still feeling a little down after a good long rest, you can come back to me, and I might have a little something for you.
We'll see.
Of course.
I would love
You guys
a
gotta
nice,
remember that
a
I
nice
can always help heal things.
staunch
Great
honking
pool of
plate of
healing
your
power.
finest meats brought up to my
Just gotta ask.
Yeah, we'll get that staunch honking
like
plate right up to
Shiloh.
you.
Perfect.
Oh yes, that too.
I don't eat meat.
The frog.
Alive this time, preferably.
We're gonna have one for you in the morning, I promise.
Thank
Kind
you.
of smiles at you. You all go to your rooms now. It seems you all have had a long night out on the town. And then he kind of whispers in your ear as he's kind of pushing you all up the stairs. How much alcohol did you guys have tonight? Jesus.
We're not drinkers.
And kind of pushes you up the stairwell and just, good night, everybody. Sleep tight.
Good night, Lumiere.
You guys all make your way to your respective rooms as on the front doorstep. This chapel looks a little different.
Meat chapel.
As you kind of come to what once was white stained walls seems to have been tattered. not a well-kept sanctuary, if you will. Opening the doors, the carpet seems a little raggedy, this red carpet. The pews seem to have little chips out of them heading towards the front. Even the glass-stained window towards the top has a little hole in it where, like, it has a mother reaching her hand out, and it's just a hole right where her hand would be. This church is not really well upkept. As you kind of open it, you know that at night, visiting hours to the gods are open, but nobody's really here attending to it. There's just a little candlelit fire at the front.
I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna go like right up to the statue and just maybe kind of look like I'm in prayer for maybe a moment.
Sure. You kind of imitate that prayer. Is there anything that you say under your breath, or?
I just kind of muttering like, "Oh, those boys."
Of course. Are you still in his fort?
Yes.
You hear footsteps behind you as somebody comes and walks and kneels right next to you. Kind of closes your eyes as you kind of peek over. Long blonde hair, dark skin, white robes. She kind of looks over at you and... "Oh, Sir Angui, I was not expecting you. Oh, my apologies. I thought your sons were just attending the festival. I had no clue that you'd be here. We would have had something made up not much nicer for you. What? As she kind of stutters and just kind of... Why are you here?
Well, I think that's the crux of the matter, if you will.
Of course. Yeah.
The boys were sent here on a mission. I thought, it's best maybe I come and check up on them.
Sure, yeah. I wasn't given anything from your camp necessarily, but I didn't know your sons were on a mission or anything. I just knew that they were coming to attend the festival. They said that they loved good booze and beautiful women. And clergymen off those as well, so...
Yes, well, some of us are more taken with our faith than others.
Yes, of course.
I've heard great things about you.
Yeah, kind of got the role a few months ago, and I've been working right with the clergyman as the town's pastor, and it's been great.
Yes,
We're doing great things for the world. It's going to be a big year. I'm sure you've known about it. You're at the ground level of everything, so we really respect what you're doing over there in Ironbell. You're doing Uriel's work.
yes, I appreciate the flattery.
Of course.
Nobody is ever against any flattery, but if we can get down to the business of my visit.
Yes, why were you here? Of course.
I'm assuming your end of the happenings here with, well, let's just say the certain winery are proceeding as planned.
Oh. Yes, we are hot on the trail. We actually have the recipe that we were suspecting of. A few town's guards trying to get close to Mordecai. He's a cunning man. I mean, gosh. Smart. He's seen a lot. We're suspecting him of magical practice under his roof, of course. I'm sure this is no surprise to you. But with a man of his stature and the Rinrath legacy, for somebody like him to be practicing such an icon of the realm, it's almost disappointing. Add more faith for him, if you will.
And have you any verifiable proof of his use of magics yet?
Well, not really. We had a few people tail him on his travel. He just went south towards Red Fort. See if we can get any information there. But as far as proof, we had some people saying that some of this wine might have magical powers, so we're gonna kind of try and throw it together ourselves and see if there's any verifiable evidence to that, and kind of go from there. Some people have been throwing around slanders saying he's working with demons, this and that. I don't know if it's to that extent personally. It's just crown guard talk, if you will. But it's hard to nail an upstanding man, if you will. It's easier to get the ones who are less known. She kind of smiles at you.
It's not hard if you know where to look. So we have the recipe now under our control.
Yes,
wrested
it's
from
with
him?
clergymen and at his estates. We have scientists working on it right now.
All right, that's good news.
Yeah.
What of I heard about the Lindwells.
Yeah, what about him? As she kind of smiles. She tries to hide the smile, but her excitement of what happened a few hours ago can't almost be contained. What about him?
I mean, obviously, what needed to be done was done.
It was a beautiful showing, let me tell you. It really brings the church together to see a magic user defiled, and as a part of our agreement with Mr. Angui, we gave his daughter to them.
And he was able to actually get her out?
As far as I know, the boys got her out. We weren't to be seen helping with the matter, if you will. But I haven't gotten word yet, but I'm sure those 3 boys would not fail.
They better not. They know how they would be treated if they were failures.
Of course. I have a question for you, maybe, if you know. I don't know
so
if you've
inclined.
seen anything going on in your neck of the woods out there. There's these 6 folk who've been staying at Mordecai's place. Don't know if they're hired hand or whatnot. Any information on a rabbit and shorter looking goblin, burly looking guy, and the other few I couldn't see with their hoods up.
Not in our area of the continent, but I'm sure with Mordecai and his years of traveling, he's met many of all folk. He's probably got friends all around. Probably just in town for a visit.
Yeah.
Maybe showing him around his estate. You know how he likes to flaunt his wealth and his worldly possessions.
That he does. But he's made a good name for himself, and even I can't deny that, even though we're trying to pin him to be something else. But just between you and me, of course.
It's okay. It'll just make the fall that much harder.
Yes. A good puppet to show the realm what happens to even the wealthy who practice magic. Of course, unless the church deems it so. She kind of winks at you.
Of course.
Is there anything else you require of me on your stay? I must get going.
No. You have a good rest of the festival, Lucia, and enjoy your time. Tell Hoff I stopped by, and
I will.
Maybe I'll find him next time I'm in town. I think we have big things to speak of.
It's really exciting, I know. She kind of looks towards you, curtsies. Life, love, and purity. May we live on. She kind of walks out. Just you.
Alright, so I'm just gonna give it some time, and then just walk out the way she came in. Just kind of walk back into an alley, unassumed form, and just kind of try to sneak her way back through the town to the estate.
Roll me a stealth check.
It's gonna be 17 plus 7, a 24.
You do so successfully. As even your compatriots that are in their rooms for the night, you creep in under the shadow of darkness, if you will. They don't even hear either your door open or shut. Before you all hit slumber for the night, is there anything you all would like to do?
So, my character, kind of frazzled from still not quite understanding what all happened and feeling a little bit cautious, will stuff the recipe between his mattress.
Sure.
and then we'll cast snare in front of the door.
I want to knock on his door.
I will not answer.
Powder, I know you're in there.
I will continue to not answer.
I'm gonna just jiggle it. It's locked. Oh. Please, I know you're in there. I've been asking where you've been.
My character will like slowly just kind of pull it so as to not activate the snare, but also just look out. What do you need?
I'm confused, and you usually have all the answers, so I don't know.
Not this time, my friend. Listen, I took quite a nasty fall last night, as in the pursuit. I think we all need to get some rest before we reconvene with Mordecai tomorrow.
Alright, I'll just stay up like I usually do.
You normally stay up? Why don't you
I
sleep?
can't sleep.
Why not?
I don't know. There's too much to think about.
Do you want someone to, perhaps, maybe Lumiere has someone who could cast a sleep spell?
It doesn't work. Sigrid tried.
Sigrid.
The witch. I know you don't listen when I talk, but you can at least remember the names.
Half the time, I'd be convinced that Sigrid is a frog.
But sometimes she is.
Okay. Who specifically is Sigrid? The
witch that brought me in, the whole, I woke up in the swamp, there was a witch, random guy led me there, well, it's a creature, not a guy, I guess, figure, he led me there, and she's the witch who took me in.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You said there's no way at all to get you to sleep?
No.
I assume, I don't know if you need health. You're still a bit of an enigma to me, as in I don't know exactly what you are.
Well, I know that you said you were going to rest. I just am very curious about something that I found in the cave. It sparked a memory, which is uncommon for me. And I'm going to hand you my bag of acid because it's not even a vial. It's just a bag.
I'm going to take the bag, kind of holding it so I do not touch the acid that I'm fully aware.
I just want to know, I guess where it came from. I don't know. It just feels familiar, and not a lot of stuff does.
I'll run some tests. For the future, as I'm kind of looking at this hole that's kind of in the bag from the acid, I imagine.
Oh, actually, let me grab something out of the bag. I'm going to reach my hand in the bag and go for, a notebook or something.
Sure.
For the future, ask for a vial from me or some kind of way.
It was spur of the moment.
Fair. My character is then going to try to reach into his backpack and find something to contain this.
Yeah. No, you can take one of your vials and easily just kind of scoop up a good portion of it. You're not going to get all of it necessarily, but you get enough to fill one.
Let's rest for the night. I am still interested in that. First thing in the morning after we report to Mordecai, I will take a look into what this acid could be.
No, I appreciate you. Hope you have a frog's night rest. Let's walk back to my room.
Do frogs sleep?
I won't.
I just kind of close and lock the door again. I put the vial on the top, and I will sleep with a dagger for the night that is in my bag.
Sure.
I feel.
Ooh.
My character doesn't feel safe necessarily.
Why not?
Anyone else before we all lay our heads? Sure. You all go to bed. Some of you don't go to bed, if you will, but some of you maybe lay in bed and stare at the ceiling or the door.
This is all I need.
As you all go to bed under the moonlit sky, Marrow, will you roll me a Constitution saving throw, please?
I hope it's for the acid.
At disadvantage.
Well, that's a nat 20.
Okay.
And that's a 12. So 15.
Okay. Perfect. You, as you're sitting here, staring at the door, if you will. Just this wooden space on your twin-size bed. Everybody else got a full size, but you got a twin size.
Yeah.
As the fire out of your right-hand corner of your eye, almost crackling, if you will, for a second you swear you're hallucinating. Almost as if your eyes close, the scenery in front of you changes, but for a split moment, as you begin to hear around you the sound of a forest, the wind blowing slightly into your face as dawn fire, the sun shines bright upon you, as you're up on a little bit of a hill overlooking a short little lake, if you will. Up from the right of you, you begin to hear footsteps, and you hear a female voice as she kind of goes, "Oh, Namtuk." She kind of sits down next to you as she kind of sounds worried. "You don't have to go. I know you guys are excited about the journey, but it's not necessary."
I have to go. It's what I've always wanted, but I promise you I'll be back. I can't stay away from you for long.
I appreciate that personally, as she kind of blushes, but I don't think it's safe. There's been a lot going on in the world lately. I mean, you got demons running around for.
I know, but I mean, come on. It's gonna be me and Wix. We'll have our daggers and we'll keep watch at night. I mean, this has been my dream.
When you say you have your daggers, that's typically when you guys are going to hunt bunnies or frogs. It's not typically meaning that, you guys are going to go fight anything actual.
Come on. We're small enough, nimble. We can get away. I promise we won't stay and fight anything that we can't eat.
Okay. She kind of hesitantly kind of
Promise
turns her face, closes her eyes, and puts her pinky out.
Promise
You
you.
gotta promise.
I promise you. I'll be back. Okay? I kiss my pinky. As I...
Grabs onto you. She kind of just leans her head on your shoulder and just kind of...
Let's not waste the night worrying about where I'll be tomorrow.
It's day, Namtuk. As she looks up at the sky.
It's a cloudy day.
You're right. As you're sitting on the edge of your bedside, quickly, you don't see a sunny day or no more, but just a wooden door as the fire kind of crackles down to the right side of your ear, almost simmering lower.
Marrow gives no reaction. Just internalizes it. But he's confused. And he feels sadness, but also happy. As he just stares at the door for the night. Unexplainable feelings.
You all get a good night's rest as your heads hit the pillow. You do gain a long rest, presumably getting all of your health and attributes back to Kashi. Not in need of anything extra, like a health potion. Who would give those out, ever?
Oh, sassy.
With
Oh,
that,
my.
as you all rest and wake up to a calm, sunny morning where an important conversation is ahead of you. We're going to head to break. We will be right back. See you guys in a minute. Welcome back. We kind of re-enter from our break. Dawn fire beginning to rise against the horizon, letting a little light in all of your windows. Does anybody have anything they'd like to describe before you all presumably head down and meet for breakfast in the morning?
Indra wakes up different from the night before, where once she might have had cold, soulless eyes. Now there's a fiery passion burning in her eyes. She is in her summer form now.
Oh.
My character will be looking, disassembling the snare that he cast, as well as retrieving the recipe that was between the mattress.
It's still there.
Wonderful.
Talia was already awake with the sun. She's got big bags under her eyes. She didn't sleep very well. There's a empty bottle of wine next to the bed. Leftwin is snoozing at the end of the bed. Seems like he got a good night's sleep.
Takashi wakes up feeling like a brand new man. Best sleep he's gotten in quite some time.
Would you say he has any damage left on him?
Nah.
Oh.
He's
perfect.
not feeling sore, no pulled muscles. He's feeling young again.
Perfect.
Sleep.
Over the intercom, you hear the voice of Lumiere. The master will see you in the dining hall, please. Whenever you can, of course. No rush. No rush. She's an early riser. It's only 8, so.
Sandra immediately just kicks the door open. Starts walking down with purpose.
You guys hear a bang, and some of you become startled.
Marrow grunts as he
Too
gets
loud.
up, obviously. as he gets up from his chair that's just been facing the door. Just, alright, guess it's time to go. I knock on Havoc's door and make sure he's awake.
Yes?
Did you hear? Are you coming down?
Yes. I will
I
grab.
want you to meet my frog.
We're back with this. I will grab the vial of acid, throw it in my backpack that I left, and as I walk out the door, I will say, "Hey, Mero, I do apologize if sometimes I do drown you out. You have to understand sometimes there is nonsense you say, but perhaps I should look a little bit closer at some of the things you do say, because every once in a while there are quite insightful things you say."
It's okay, old friend. I just talk gibberish.
I'm glad at least we both know that. I kind of pat him on the back, but then really quickly wipe my paw.
You see Marrow's chest as he pats me on the back. A bone just kind of shifts. It's kind of poking out now, and I just go, oh.
All right. The rest of you, presumably, make your way down to the dining hall. Entering in, very similar looked as before. Those of you who might have forgotten. It's a symphony of opulence, a sanctuary where the Ringrath family entertains esteemed guests and celebrates their illustrious lineage, you would presume. A grand mahogany table, center stage, stretching magnificently to accommodate a dozen or so guests. On the back wall sits a fireplace, and even in the daytime, it is still going. As you guys hear the light sound of a piano playing in the quiet dining hall, you see Lumiere kind of entering you guys in, shuffling you in, and Mr. Mordecai Rinrath sitting at the head of the table. So he kind of watches all 6 of you guys kind of muddle in one by one, kind of looks towards all of you. Good morning. See you all at a long night. Or 2.
Well, I mean, the night doesn't really change. It's always the same time.
I don't think that's quite true. I'm pretty sure nights get longer towards winter.
Powder would be correct. Nights get longer towards winter. But please take a seat. We fetched you. The rest of you guys see like eggs, bacon, the full 9 yards on your plates, steamed, ready to go. You see in a little cage a baby frog.
A tadpole?
In a cage?
Caged in a little bowl of water
Okay.
Okay.
on your
Okay.
plate. we wanted to make sure that you were the first one to touch him, of course. So we caged him, put him in there for you.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm gonna go ahead and I'll take him out. I'm just kind of holding them, and I'll take a mushroom off my chest and dribble it in there.
Of course.
And then I'll take one for myself.
Tadpole immediately goes face up.
And then it goes face back out. It's a zombie tadpole.
Well, I can say Lumiere told me you all came stumbling in late last night with a bunch of different stories. First of all, most important part, I have your reward. So you kind of bring 6 pouches with 60 gold pieces in it each. Do you have my recipe? Have you retrieved it?
We do. Before we go any further, so you know, yesterday, I believe, unless you're into younger girls, there was some kind of incident of people portraying as others, as far as my understanding. I don't know if I feel the most confident with knowing everybody's original identities are here and not somehow clones like yesterday or disguised. Is there a way for us to check before?
Well, Lumiere kind of patched me in. The story was a little hazy. I'm assuming either magical presence was at play or they were changelings. A race of humanoids that can take form of those they've seen or had an encounter with. I can assure you that a few nights ago, I, for 60 gold pieces, sent you after a recipe of mine called Crimson Whispers. I invited all of you here by letter, sent by Raven, horseback, however you received it. If it were not I, how would I know that?
Okay, good.
Most even smiles.
Lumiere, do you remember the other night when you met me at the front door?
I believe I was in a wagon down at the entrance of the town.
Sorry, let me rephrase this. When I met you at the front door and asked for vials.
Personally, no. But I could just be misremembering. I remember picking you up at the base of the town. Mara right here followed you in from the wagon. I gave you vials the other night.
Yes, you gave me vials.
Oh, I mean, sure. Always giving everybody a lot of things, honestly. I remember I had a long drink with this one. And you tried to persuadingly make me drink more. As he kind of smiles at you.
I think it might be a good idea. That seems to check out. If we all check up on one another. It seems like all of us know the other person, but again, because there were changelings we have interacted, or people magically disguising themselves, I think it'd be wise for us to go around the group and make sure we are each other. For example, Marrow, what did you go ahead and give me last night?
I thought we weren't gonna talk about this.
Fair. Let me rephrase it. Are you okay if I talk about the person you told me about, the name?
Oh, yeah, Sigrid.
Wonderful.
Yeah, Sigrid Pickle.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Perfect. I don't know too much about the rest of you. I know some about Marrow through to their journey. If you could all just check with each other.
I got a question for you.
Sure.
What do rabbits do? What do they eat?
I personally don't eat carrots because I'm deathly allergic.
I'm gonna lean into Talia and go, that's a little suspicious. A rabbit that doesn't eat carrots?
I do remember him saying that, though, when we met him earlier.
Fine.
Moving on, if the rest of you would think it's a good idea to just check on the other person. As far as the lovebirds go, if you could both check to make sure.
It's the same rabbit.
Tomatis?
It's the same rabbit. He's called us that before. It's rude. Talia is still very grumpy. She's eating her bacon and her eggs. She's ready to get the ball moving.
I just need to make sure all of us are not changelings, so if you
I have a
could.
question. Would a changeling be evil?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Just species.
They fake feet are undead.
Fey unfiend.
Because they could be undead if they died and came back, but that's beside the point. They would be a species of people.
Okay.
Example. Example A.
It pings every time for some reason.
No, none of you here are changelings. Mordecai,
How do you know? You weren't quite aware of the changeling from yesterday, I presume.
maybe, maybe not. I just didn't necessarily think that they would be this far east.
Fair.
Who is they?
Mordecai, do you know the kind of trouble you're getting yourself into?
Personally, I presume I'm in trouble with everybody whenever I interact with them. It's kind of my family's thing.
So you know the church is getting ready to pin you for use of magic and put you to the sword?
The church, people up north, people in Wild Tide, the new king in Kazmirian Bay doesn't love me exactly. A lot of people don't like me, and that's alright. I understand that's a man who wants to help those in need isn't much loved by many. But yes, I do know they have been trying to gather information on my whereabouts. Personally, I'm not concerned. Most of the gods they send are stupid. And even these royal knights that they say are the highest of their kind and the best fighters of Clear Meadow, I could take one with my eyes closed. Kind of smiles.
And what about the might of an entire kingdom?
Well, if it would come to that, it would seem that I would need to flee the continent for a little bit. If the entire kingdom, King Matthias himself, would send an army after me, I don't think I'm that important in his eyes. Just another one who practices magic that he put to the stake if he could, along with the clergymen.
And what if such a practitioner of magic is thought to be consorting with demons? Would you think it not worth the king's time?
He kind of leans and just... I've not consorted with any demons. May I ease the minds
It's
of
not
the
whether or
table?
not you have, it's whether or not the perception is you will.
A month or so after we all met at the tavern in Myth Hollow, got caught up with a few gods trying to bring a demon back here alive to study. Interrogate, if you will. They spun that story just like they do with everything else and said that I was working with demons and was under demonic influence. Please, Miss Paladin, you can check if I'm demonic with one of your spells. I'd love for you to do so.
I don't think I need to.
Thank you.
But I am curious about the guards who were trying to bring a demon back. Do you know when or where that was happening?
You mean me? I was trying to bring a demon back across the lands.
Did you not just say that they were Were they the guards saying you were doing that?
The gods caught me doing that, and they said since I was traveling with one, I was conspiring with it. Just hearsay. They're trying to convince the general populace that I'm an evil man that doesn't want good for every one of its people that live on this beautiful land of Arcanos. He was bound, tied up, being transported in a wagon.
But
And
alive?
he looks at you. If I could trust you more, maybe I'd tell you. But we don't have that kind of relationship yet, Zendra. As he looks towards you and his face grows rather stern.
What about your little cave?
What's a cave?
Oh. You know which cave. And we know which cave. Would you care to be honest with us?
kind of looks down at his cup. There's not many people you trust these days when it comes to talking about the last infernal affliction that came upon our land. Many of you probably weren't even alive for it. The slaughtering of innocents and the undertaking of our whole realm. But then, even as we sewed that loose thread up, it would bring in the slaughter of plenty of innocents who practice magic as a chance for the crown to just pin it on that. I will admit, I have been attempting to find these different entryways from the hells to our plane whenever our last two friends ascended to godhood.
Talia, at that point, slams her hands on the table and looks at him and says, "Are you mad?
No, I'm very sane person.
Why would you want to open?"
Let me explain. I don't want to open. I'm trying to study to see if I can find where the other ones are. So for say, if this rabbit here decides one day he wants a little more from life and a more power, that I have information as to where we can destroy them and cut them off before they can even enter. So then, instead of dealing with armies of demons, we only have to deal with one or two, maybe three.
And you don't suspect that you might make a mistake and open up something you shouldn't be opening? That your magic may not work the way you want it to? That you might use too much magic and maybe it'll backfire and have a devastating reaction on this entire world?
Some of you grew up hearing stories about the volcano that exploded and they pinned it on magic. Ooh, spooky. It's just something the king in the Church of Volcanoes does to strike fear into the hearts of all of you. Magic caused the volcano to explode. Magic justly thought that killing an innocent man at a festival was a good idea. Magic to heal innocents on the streets gets people slaughtered, or in Mr. Linwell's case, a scrape on his daughter's knee. Which, from what I've heard, she's not doing all too well. She kind of looks around the party. Seems some of our Ngui boys kidnapped her last night. You all weren't able to prevent that, so maybe, just personally speaking, if you all had relied on magic a little more, she'd still be around. But to answer your question, yes, I am looking to find where all these entry points are. Personally, I could use a little help with that, but that was a later discussion. I'm just trying to keep the realm safe. More than any king has.
You don't think that if you let the king or the church know what you were trying to do, that they wouldn't help? I mean, I'm not saying the king's all good or all bad, but it seems like a pretty sane plan to me.
They have their methods that they go about things. This is where I bring devastating concern up. I, admittedly, didn't necessarily trust for all of you to get the information gathered from the festival, so I had a few people sneak in, take notes for me. I personally feel that yes, the church is looking for all of these entryways. The king himself is instructing his pastors to do so. I fear that one of them is going to attempt to ascend again, per, in his speech, a godly year.
Think the king?
You think a clergyman is going to ascend?
I don't know who. I have no concrete evidence yet, but what I do know is, would that not give the crown unlimited power? Would it not give them a godlike being to sit on the throne, whether it be Matthias or somebody who attempts to usurp him.
It's nearly impossible to find any of the formula to ascend. What makes you think that the church would have that kind of material?
Because they're the only ones powerful enough to keep it secret from everyone else.
Maybe, and just maybe, what me and my collective have been doing is a race for knowledge, if you will. If I can find out what it takes, I can figure out where the church is going to attempt to go, and in doing that, stop them.
And what would you do if you found all the tools you needed to ascend?
Kind of smiles. I'd simply impart that wisdom on those who needed to know it's only. My reputation across the realm stands for itself.
And why does that make you any different than the king?
Because I don't kill innocents at my dinner table for simply healing others.
Or for murdering others? Or for drowning children? Or for being drunkards on the street? You're not just murdering innocent people that are practicing magic and healing other humans. People do wrong things. They're evil, they're bad. They commit atrocities with magic. They reap what they sow. It is not always black and white. But there are very certain circumstances where they do need to be put away.
I understand having such ignited views.
You think
And
that the celebration of that man's death the other day was right?
No.
We watched his head get smashed in. And as someone who has experienced death, is lonely. There's nothing.
I don't question that the way that they did it was wrong. They had no empathy. They had no kindness when they did it. But if he truly did something and he did not follow the rules, those are the consequences of his actions.
And whose rules must we abide by?
Societal
rules of a
standards right
tyrant.
now are that magic is not good.
Because
Weird.
one man deems it so based on ill
Not just one man.
belief.
Not just one man.
So King Matthias doesn't create the rule for...
He does, but he doesn't. He relies on other people's opinions. We don't just see him ruling over everything as one authoritative figure. He has counsel. The church can be harsh. I understand that. Religion is strict. It is always strict. They must abide, or else they will not be seen as holy.
So it's all about how people want to be perceived. You're gonna tell me, I know that magic is messy, and nature is messy. And there's a purpose to life and death, but we shouldn't impart that. There has to be a balance.
And I think that there could be a balance. But what does my opinion matter?
It's merely a speck of sand that sits on a beach. What I do know is every single person sitting at this table probably has lost somebody due to the church or the crown or their ignorance to the matter. As a tear swells in his right eye, he kind of just looks at you. Just want to avoid the death of innocence. Whether it be at the hands of demons, a pastor, a monster, maybe a magic user who's doing bad, or a barbarian who's gone crazy. You said something earlier at the church. doesn't have a black and white view, but I'd argue that they do.
No, I do agree with that. The church is very black and white. They must be to maintain their holy image.
And if the holy image has the realm in bloodshed, there might be none of us left to stop the next person who attempts ascension.
You say the realm in bloodshed, but I have no experience of bloodshed. But perhaps that's because I have no experience.
That much is clear.
Let's move on from the politics. We've talked about it, and it doesn't seem like any side is necessarily budging. I think it's better to not waste time, if we shall continue, with what we're here for. Which, in essence, we're all here for a job, correct?
Correct.
Can we agree on that?
You all will hide.
Let's continue, then, to talk of what all happened, and
Of course. That being said, all opinions are welcome in this house. As he kind of smiles and the tear kind of swells back up into his eye. I don't look at any one of you any difference. I understand personal views are tough sometimes. Where you grew up, who parents were. It's all okay. But matter at hand. The recipe. Crimson Whispers.
yes, before I give you the recipe, you have proven yourself. I do think it is important to note something. The recipe that I do have currently in my possession is merely a copy of the recipe. I think it's better not to completely try to fool you and pass this one on, but allow you to know that the original we still have not retrieved because there was a copy made of the original.
May I?
Please, and I will walk up to him.
Okay, appreciate it. He opens it up, reads it. But a snap engulfs in flame. Just kind of looks at you. I appreciate your honesty. You all have proven yourself much capable. I may use your mind in saying that was never the real recipe. No fool writes it down and puts it in the right side of his desk. He kind of laughs.
That's so you don't use frog's blood?
No, we don't use frog's blood around here.
Oh, that's a relief.
I merely was seeing if I could trust you all for the greater good. And a little information here and there was warranted. Seems we both found out things about each other in the process. The gold still, as he kind of hands you all 60 gold pieces. For the job, of course.
I was never here for the gold. You can have mine.
Have you
I'll hand mine the
tested
powder.
this fake recipe before?
This fake recipe is nothing but, excuse my language, a pile of shit. Mixed together. I mean, look at all the ingredients. It doesn't even make sense. There's no grapes involved. I mean, it could not be a wine if it was frog's blood as the main ingredient.
Oh, I cover the
lookout
tadpole's
for
ears.
Be on the lookout for some sick clergymen in the future, then.
Yes, of course. I, again, appreciate your drive and determination in doing a good job for the most part. I'm going to give you about a B minus on the situation, considering the church has a copy of whatever they think it is, but it'll get them nowhere. I would never put newcomers in that sort of situation, trust me.
To be fair, though, then might be actually a better situation than if we had retrieved it. The church assumes that you tried to retrieve it through hand ordering 6 adventurers to go, and the adventurers found the copy. However, they still have the original, at least they thought. So, in a way, they might think they have the original and the true copy, and we merely think that we've destroyed all evidence of it, or at least have taken it back. And that recipe had nothing to do with magic, did it?
Roll a persuasion with advantage.
Uh, 13.
13. Kind of reaches in his pocket, passes you another 10 gold coins. A mastermind behind a mastermind, I see. Powder, you did well.
Thank you.
All of you did well. No, like you said, I would have never thought it ending up in this circumstance. I mean, I truly am proud of all of you for willing to come here on short notice just to help me. I appreciate it, and you've been paid well for that. What I do offer now is a choice. You don't have to take it. I know some of you have important things to get to in this world. But for the most part, you all worked well together. Aside of the kidnapped daughter, we can let that one slide. We'll get her back.
Good luck with that.
I'm aware there was a few other things you all found while you were at the festival. Would you care to enlighten me? Just kind of looks.
There was a man there with a tattoo of a flaming torch on his forearm. He walked away after the man was slaughtered in, broad daylight.
Siri Emberforge, who resides in Scorched Shield, leads a cause that some would look at much like they viewed the Church of Arcanos. Since the great negotiations of Iridon, where his brother was able to take some of the magic users out of Arcanos by agreement of the king, of course, with a fat paycheck along with it. Suri decided to stay behind and rally some mages to fight the crown in a radical way. Can't say I necessarily agree with his viewpoints, but Magni is an organization that does indeed stand against the church and the capital.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
To be fair, they do sometimes work in a blazing fire, hurting those who don't need to. I'd advise, if you do pay them a visit, to be aware of his teachings. They are a group that I believe means well in the heart of hearts, but sometimes, much like our friend Talia was saying, in meaning well, innocence can get hurt. And we don't want that. I know he's sworn to the minor deity by the name of Luminos. He leads his people under that banner and their cause. A rebel group, if you will. They are strictly at odds with the Mages of Unification, a group led by Irene. He promotes pacifism, says that there's no need for bloodshed on either side, but just for an agreement that the mages would be allowed to live here and practice magic without fear of slaughter, or even give up that use of magic. The church is yet to budge, but he does hope to take a seat on the council one day and be a voice in the king's ear, if you will. Which way did you say he took off?
I believe from where we were at, he went west.
Sure. Roll history check.
Yeah. Oh, no, he left going north.
Probably the Earth Run. They have secret bunkers there in every town, honestly, where they hide magic users. With that being said, me and Siri are acquaintances, but not friends, so I tread lightly on using my name for any reputation with any of his men. Earthrun is also a place where a lot of the Mages of Unification hang out. They keep that as a dock to help get the innocents out of Clear Meadow over to Wildtide or Sunrest, a place where they're less persecuted. Anything else any one of you interacted or noticed at the festival?
Your new pastor is quite bloodthirsty.
Pastor,
Lucia.
she is. I knew it before she got the promotion. She wasn't always like that, but being able to use magic under the rule of people who say it's okay. It's a heavy, persuasive bargaining chip, if you will.
Not quite at the festival, but during our times retrieving the recipe.
Of course.
Our little friend that is currently in the dungeon, and I presume is still in the dungeon?
Still in the dungeon.
Wonderful.
Ruthie's taking good care of him, making sure he's well fed. Hard to feed him without a mouth, but we're figuring out ways.
That's fair.
Kind of smiles at you.
That's fair. On him was this symbol, and I will show him from my notebook the symbol that I sketched.
The whispering lips.
The whispering. Yeah, thank you. Yes, the whispering lips. Do you recognize the symbol?
Kind of looks at it. He kind of goes. Never seen it in my life.
Fascinating. Anybody else? And I will hold it around the room, kind of show it off.
It looks similar to the symbol of Frades, but I don't think it's the same. My memory does recall right, which it usually doesn't.
That's fair.
Could be. Maybe it's a symbol of their cult.
In that case, any dealings with the Frades or any? Not
Frades
dealings.
is one of the ones who ascended and was taken down by the kings of old. No dealings personally with her. As he kind of smiles and chuckles. She's been long gone for many years.
Just wanted to double check.
Of course. Anyone else before I move on to our next seedings here? Well, I would like to offer you all a more permanent position within the Rainwrath family. You don't have to do as I say or follow my rules, but I would pay handsomely and appreciate any information that you could find of the following for me. Whether it be those blue flowers with those black insides that kind of look like wormish, if you will.
Oh, these?
There's-
And I will pull the sample that I pulled.
Yes.
The ones in his cave.
Mm-hmm.
I think he knows of those.
That's fair.
Yes, those typically grow around wherever demons entered, is what I've been finding in my studies. I've found a few more portals south in Casmirian Bay, around the volcano. I've found a few in Wild Tide, by the mounts there. Not really anywhere else yet. I say my research has been rather slow.
Anything else with the flowers as far as their properties?
If you can find where they bloom, it's typically, I just call it the flower from hell. Feel free to name it whatever you'd like, but I'd assume there's fields of those down there. With that being said, any portals or demons you run across on your travels, I would also love to know the locations of. Pay handsomely for those. You'll probably want to know how you can let me know there are. And he kind of pulls out a little bag of chips and kind of, who wants them? Hands them to Marrow. These little chips, all you have to do as you kind of open it up in there, it's a little coin. Gold lining on the outside, black in the middle with a gold dragon claw in it. There's about 50 or so in there. You press this and drop it. I will then magically receive that location here at my stead and know that either myself, Lumiere, or one of my men need to go investigate the scene. You don't have to wait there or anything, and for each one, whatever gold amounts you would ask, I'd be willing to pay. Or whether it be in other ways of knowledge, as you mentioned earlier, which we'll have to talk about, Talia, that you suck instead of gold, and you seeking different powders, different minerals throughout the world. I know that, to answer your question on one, those flowers, if you grind them up, will enhance fire magic. A hellfire, if you will.
Fascinating. Thank you.
That being said, whatever your price is, I'll pay it. Whatever question you have, I'll answer it. If it leads to more information regarding that. Next on my journey, I found out a few things, if you're willing to listen. If any of you must go, I understand. But if you're willing to stick around, then maybe I have a few more people you all can go help. That'll in much more need than I.
I'm always here to help someone in need.
If I'm not mistaken, as far as everyone in the group, we all want to help somebody. I don't think any of us are malicious in nature. Am I correct?
No.
No what? I kind of glossed over that. No, you're not malicious in nature?
I don't know what that word means.
Okay, well, I'm assuming he means well. What say the rest of you? You're shaking your head no? Talia?
I agree with what you're saying.
Zendra?
I don't currently have any jobs lined up, so sure, I will hear Mordecai out.
Takashi?
I mean, I just finished up this job, you know. Got nothing going on, I guess I could stick around.
We all have something to gain, and in doing so, have right doing.
And if there's any information I can supply any of you with in advance, please let me know now.
Yes. As far as I still need to meet with your trader, your inside information about the person with powders.
Yes, Lala, down the street. She runs a fine establishment. A lot of general goods. I heard that you were scoundering around for some health potions last night, Takashi. She sells those and many other things there if you're needing anything general before you were to head out on any kind of journey.
Good to know.
Another question. How far does this bell for Luminaire, and I pull out the bell, go?
He's in the room and he kind of, yes! What can I do?
No.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
It's-
No, I did not mean to ring it. But how far does this reach?
After you leave the premises of the manor or the winery, it's 1 block.
Fair. And I will put it back, because I don't think I'm going to need it.
Anything else? Any questions before I continue? Information anyone needs, knowledge you came to seek.
Obviously, we've had a sighting of House Ongui. Have any of the other families been seen this far east on the continent?
I know House Uvance took a trip to the capital about 2 or 3 weeks ago. They said that some of their property disappeared in the middle of the night, so I'm assuming some of their goods was stolen from their treasury. They were beckoning for the king to put the royal knights on it immediately, but the king, of course, said no. But they're looking for something that had gone missing. I haven't necessarily taken more information than that. If you want me to look more into what that could be, I will for you.
No, I think I have an idea of what they're looking for. I appreciate it.
Yes.
For now, if everybody is also understanding and thought of it, before we embark on any quests, I'd like to take the day to at least go meet with Allah and resupply on anything I might need. Does that sound good with everybody here? We can go about our separate ways just for today? No?
I'm just messing with you guys. I think everyone taking a visit to the shop might be beneficial. Resupply before our, I'm assuming, journey.
Whatever you choose to take, there's options, mind you. Or if there's anything you personally wish to explore, feel free to. But I have a few things that my men have been looking into and need some answers about, and there's people to help and save. Oh, well, then we talked about, of course, going around, finding different sites, any demonic influence activity. I would ask that you strike the demons dead upon sighting. You're not trying to interrogate them or leave them alive or anything like that. It could put you in bad standing with the crown if they caught you just the wrong way. We don't need anyone else being hated for anything, of a misunderstanding. I know earlier we already talked about my concerns of a church member going to ascend. Any more information on that? I'd maybe start in the capital, trying to maybe link up with the local thieves guild there, or whatnot. Personally, I've heard of doings out west. I know the unseen, the unheard, and the unspoken tribes have apparently been helping kidnap people to disappear. What some of my men believe is they are looking to further understand people who are touched by Nocturna, or people who are touched by Dawnfire. Kind of looks at Hrothgar, the sun and the moon. They're known to grant certain people different abilities, and for whatever reason, there's this scientist out west that's been rumored that they're looking into it. I would say, personally, Takashi, I know that in your village, a few years ago, there was an unseen invasion. I'd worry that if some of your people in your village weren't found afterwards, that were maybe assumed dead, they could have been taken. I would recommend heading out west. Excuse me 1 second while I pull up my notes on the matter. Make out of mind, there's a lot of information to go around.
Mordecai, I thought you would have been better organized.
In Steamfrost, there is a man who fought with the original 6 heroes who struck down Thane and Delilah, captured their souls into these things called Arcanium crystals. There's a man who lives there, one of the heroes, if you will, by the name of Jace Stormbringer. Real brute of the group. He's been looking into these disappearances. He could be a good place to start if you wanted to head there.
You said that was in Steamfrost?
Steamfrost, yes, in the nation of Wildtime. With that being said, lastly, on the topic of these crystals, any information, whether it be stolen from the church, even if it's a little bit of hearsay, I would love to know where they're being found. These crystals, in essence of themselves, have the power to capture somebody who has ascended. It's a plan B. He smirks, if you will. If we fail with plan A, which is stopping ascension in the first place. Having some of those on hand wouldn't necessarily be the worst thing. I've heard under Mount Apollo. Rumored a few. Nothing concrete. I'm but one man with whom we are trying to cover a continent here. And last but not least, there's a pilgrimage that takes place there in Myth Hollow. I'm concerned that Pastor Regal Lovecraft has a little more something cunning going on as he's taking people up that mountain. But I know you probably all heard about that when you were in Myth Hollow. Anybody he comes in contact to
We did.
can't stop talking about it.
We never made the journey though. We had to leave. I had to leave.
I assume you all left. As did I. Whatever path you choose to take, talk amongst yourselves. None are more urgent than the others. Unless you deem one so. I would just appreciate if you could make sure to drop those tokens on those demonic sites. Maybe try and contact me by letter, by horseback, raven.
Question before we embark on the
What?
journey.
Whatever you want. What's your set?
As we've talked about, and Sindra talked briefly about, you are being hunted to some degree by people. If you find yourself, if we find coming back here and noticing our letters are either not getting to you or disappearing, where do we go for you then? Do you have a safe house? I know it is very secretive, probably, but at the same time, I feel if we are to be your trusted men, as you so far...
And women, of course.
And women.
Don't discount these two ladies here,
Of
alright?
course. What should we do to find you?
Know if I'm not at the winery of the manor, Lumiere knows where I am. To give a location of a safe house, it wouldn't be quite safe anymore if it weren't just for me and him to know about it. I'm sure you all feel the same way about your safe house. I'm sure all of you have one.
Fair. Then where should we find
Mine's in
Lumiere?
the swamps.
I will long blink. Where do we find Lumiere?
Know if you need to contact me. Come back to my manor. Sit down at this table.
Fair enough.
And let me guess, ring the bell.
In the bell.
I will then pick back up the bell and put it into my backpack. Lala, you were talking about.
Lala, yes, her shop of goods. 2 alleys down in the marketplace, 2 houses down on the left. She's got a big gold sign, you won't miss it. Stands out in front of the crowd, if you will.
It sounds like you're close to her. Could you write me a letter of just recommendation?
She's a general shopkeep. I'm assuming your gold will be recommendation enough.
Fair, but as far as information as well.
Lala and me are friends, as he smiles and nudges Rothgard. But the lady knows what her goods are worth, if you know what I mean.
Fair enough.
Zendra, don't take that the wrong way, of course, I don't mean it like that. By any means.
How old is Lala?
Yes, how old is she?
Hopefully older than 16.
31? Okay.
And how old was she when you met her?
Just a few years ago. She was 27. She moved from town rather recently. Why do you ask? Can we not drop these allegations?
So young.
I have enough on my plate, if you will.
Just checking.
Last, I will beckon. Is there anything you all need from me?
You've mentioned several locations, and I'm just curious. And Talia is still, she's still really tired. Like she's been thinking too hard, and she spoke really loud, and she doesn't normally do that. She was kind of argumentative, which is also out of her nature. And she looks at you, and she's so hyper focused on you, and she's so hyper focused on the words that are about to come out of her mouth. Do you know anything about Aldervane?
I know it's a little town.
You haven't seen any demonic presence there?
No,
Haven't found
forgive me, but
anything?
it seems to consistently be under new leadership, if you will. Lately in charge is Larry Pumblebump.
Stop. Hold on. Let me write that name down.
It's a town of no more than a few hundred people. It seems that
Pumble.
town jarls are quickly in rotation there as they seem to die off or just disappear. Personally, it's right outside the capital, so nobody thinks anything too nefarious can be going on there, but I know Larry, never met him, but I've heard he's a good guy. He kind of smiles. Is there a reason you ask, or just planning your next summer vacation?
She knows you were trying to joke with her, but she's so caught up in that town and that thought and that word. For what reason, she doesn't really know why. And she just kind of shakes her head and sits there and says no.
Of course. Well, this has been advantageous. It's been a pleasure meeting all of you once again. I seem to have the crown on my back around this area, so I'd best be going out and doing some public hellos with the good people. A man that is loved by the common townsfolk cannot be killed off so easily. He kind of smiles, goes to shake each and every one of your hands. If you guys have anything personally for him, this would be a time to pull him aside.
One last thing.
Oh, yes, of course.
Once me and my traveling companions here decide on where we will go, would you be able to provide transportation if it need be?
I don't really specialize in wagons. I only have the one from the two steeds
Just
that brought you up
any
here.
contacts you might have.
Lumiere told me you came in on a crown's horse. Can't imagine you'd struggle to find too many. So he kind of smiles your way. Personally, no. Only the filthy rich have sky ships, and most travel's done by foot or horse. I always recommend foot, because horses are not reliable most of the time.
No, you're looking funny.
He kind of smiles and looks over to Mero.
I'll just pet my tadpole. I am pet my tadpole. When he goes to shake my hand, I'll let you know my hand is soaking wet. I have not. My hand has not
She's been
left the bowl. Yeah.
One
Very
last
excited.
thing.
Yes, of course.
The water's now murky.
I imagine we
Oh,
shall
yeah.
depart tomorrow.
Sure.
For the night. Maybe
Welcome to
spend-
stay here if you need to.
Wonderful.
You all are always welcome back here. The code to the front door, all you must do is cast a... Oh, I'm sorry, it's not that simple. All you must do is cast some sort of healing spell in your hand in front of it, or a cantrip. It will open, and the back, it would be a conjuration spell.
What if there is one among us that might not have access to magic?
He looks at you. I think some of you have access to magic. I would assume you'd be coming back here together, but if you need to, you all have a bell. If Lumiere's home, he'll get the door for you.
Fair enough. To the group, I shall be departing for Lala's. If one of you or all of you would like to join me, more than welcome. Some of you, it seems like you have a lot to think about or a lot to process. I kind of look over at Talia. And if you don't feel like going out, if there's anything I can get you on the way, I'd be more than happy to.
No, that's so kind of you. And then Talia looks at Mordecai. I have something that might be yours, though. That we found in the cavern.
Might be mine. What is it?
And she reaches into her cloak and takes out a red book.
Kind of looks at it. I personally have never seen that in my life. Honest to God.
She believes him. And that concerns her more.
Maybe the thugs brought it with them and left it?
Maybe.
I'm not too sure.
Do you want to see it?
More than happy to.
She's almost expecting something to happen when she hands the book to you.
Takes it and holds it and he opens it up. This is old demonic language.
Infernal, yes.
I don't personally know anyone who can read it. As he kind of starts flipping through the pages and just kind of sees that the name of whose tome it is scratched out. I'm sorry. I presume typically tomes have a master. They're living and breathing.
Talia, I'm not quite sure what's in that book either. However, maybe our friend in the dungeon might know, by chance?
Maybe.
Just a thought. I shall be departing myself now. Anybody interested in that?
Yeah, I'll go with you.
That's fair.
Just for company, I don't have any gold.
That's okay. I'm holding on to yours for you.
I do have one ask. Could we waterproof the bag, my bag,
Yes.
so that I can keep bone in there? I named the tadpole.
Okay. Yes.
Oh.
Absolutely. I'm sure that Lala might have some kind of waterproofing, and if not, I might be able to whip something up. Anybody else for the journey to the shop?
I'll go and restock on some supplies for our travel.
Fair.
I shall accompany you as well.
Fair. Talia, I imagine you're staying?
I would actually like to get out of here and go to town.
That's fair enough.
I think I need some sunshine.
I'll go to town as well.
Wonderful.
As you all
We can stop by and get a drink, Roscoe.
As you all begin to speak up, or stand up and begin to speak, and pleasure meeting all of you, working with all of you once again. Before you all go to Kashi, do you mind hanging back?
Sure.
Beautiful.
I'm sure he can direct you to where we're going, so...
I'll meet up with you
You guys can wait outside with him for
Just so everybody's aware, someone got kidnapped the last time that this happened. So just everybody be on guard.
You have my
It's okay.
sincerest promise.
Oh,
Kashi,
nothing against you.
how about you all wait out in the foyer?
It's okay.
I'll only
We'll
have
wait outside. I'll know if something is wrong.
That's fair.
Sure. I was just making everybody aware of what happened the last time that it happened.
That's more than fair, Meryl.
I only need a few moments.
We shall walk out.
Bids the rest of you farewell and kind of sits down and just kind of leans in. Anything you need to make me aware of before you depart? As his face grows stern, his eyes seem to stare into your soul.
I mean, outside of everything that's happened, I did run into a person from my past. His name so happens to be Lord Cedrin Gallus.
Your history with this man?
I served him once before. I was his personal bodyguard from time to time. Hired me to do work and for him.
Influential man, Gallus is down in Casmerian Bay. Thought to be dead to most. He won't be a problem in any of your adventures now, will he?
I hope not, but can't say for certain.
He kind of gets up and comes to walk to you and shake your hand, and he whispers something in your ear.
Oh no. That's what I had to do last time.
Everybody
We
talk.
whispered in there.
Yeah.
Or I'll take you
Yeah.
outside. I know, I'll whisper to you.
What are you buying is the issue. Because if I don't have enough money to waterproof my bag, my tadpole's not going to last very long.
Again, you gave me your stuff. You give me your gold.
Yeah.
I shall be holding on to it.
No, it's
Yeah.
yours. I just want to make sure we can waterproof the bag.
Yes, and as good faith, I shall waterproof your bag using the gold you gave me.
Yeah, I only need
As
the
he
waterproofing
simply
for a
kind
little
of-
bit until he grows into a frog.
Yep, that's fair.
As
But
he
I think it might be
simply-
useful for acid being stored in there, for example.
Oh yeah.
As he simply pulls you close, shakes your hand, and gives you almost an embrace, Takashi. He releases you and then exits out and enters into the foyer and... Yes, Talia.
Well, he gets a hug and I don't. She was.
Mordecai comes in to hug you. He shakes your
Everyone's just
hand.
handing them out. It's been a while.
That's what your brother is for.
Nope, not a brother.
Pats you on the head, kind of pats Zendra on the shoulder just tightly and kind of gives you the big old man.
What was with the pat on the
Yummy.
head? I'm not a child.
No, but you're very soft. Oh, I said that out loud.
This silver fox of a brute man walks out of the front of his foyer. As Lumiere kind of comes out, he kind of just... And where is it you guys think you'll be heading to first?
I believe we're departing for Lala's.
I think we'll come back for the night and let you know.
Of course.
We'll take the day to
I'm
decide.
hoping they'll let. I'm hoping we can go to Mount Apollo.
Anywhere else the rest of you are hoping to go, or? She said Mount Apollo. Check the pilgrimage out. I understand. It's interesting.
I might maybe want to check in the capital. They might have some information.
See where the journey takes us.
But we have the day to decide.
Of course. Just please do let us know where you plan to head before you head out.
Of course.
You all exit this manor. Follow his directions ever so perfectly through the streets. Is there anywhere else you guys would like to stop or conversations to be had on the way to Lala's Twisted Goods?
I want to talk to Talia
Yeah.
privately. Just kind of move myself back in the group and almost drag Talia with me. I just grab your hand. I just drag it.
She doesn't hold a lot of hands. A lot of people don't touch her like that. She's. Yes.
I'm just concerned because everyone else seems to be fine with the use of magic and you're not. I don't know if you know this. Those animals were me.
I did know that the animals were you.
So you're not gonna like bash my head in.
I'm not going to bash your head in.
I just want to make sure. Okay.
I
kind of scared of dying again.
I promise. Talia is tired, but she's still young and she feels bad because she was mean and she knows she was mean. And she reaches her finger out and she goes, I pinky promise. I'm not gonna bash your head in.
I think instinctively.
She holds that like that.
I think,
and then she's like, wait, maybe he doesn't know what this means.
No,
just as she's about to take her pinky away.
Instinctively, I kiss it, and I do that.
I'm like, where the fuck did he kiss it? But I'm glad you know what that means. I'm not going to bash your head in.
I believe her. Everything feels good.
And then she bashes.
No.
On the way,
Yeah.
I shall talk with Zindra more openly. Zindra, it seems different today. I believe you slammed the door open? That doesn't quite seem like you?
Yes. I guess since we'll be traveling together longer, you'll maybe get to understand some of my antics. Those of my race that are older maybe have a better grasp of their different modes, if you will, but being younger, I still am prone to violent swings of emotion. And, I mean, as you can see, and obviously she's still not showing any of her face very much, but, like, if you look at my eyes, I am obviously different today. I apologize if I'm more temperamental, but,
Fair enough. I am not one to judge a switch of personality, per se.
yeah. I do have to say, your other half seems to be quite rambunctious, but he gets the job done, so I can appreciate that.
He's a good guy. Sometimes better than myself, but yes, he can be quite a handful. I do apologize at times.
Talia is walking next to Rothgar at this point because she assumes everything's fine after Mara touched her and picked her hand out.
Bear's grinning from ear to ear. He's so happy right now. And he doesn't know why. But he is.
Rothgar, I never got the chance to thank you for the other night for getting us out of the cavern quickly.
Well, you're welcome.
Are you doing okay? You really cut that guy in half. I've never seen you so full of rage, if you will.
It's what I was trained to do, but never got to do. So it's like,
Trained you to do that?
well, I mean, I was trained for that my whole life.
I guess I knew that, but I didn't really know that.
Not a lot happened inside the walls.
Yeah. That's true. Nothing ever happens inside the walls.
So it was like, when you get a brand new ball and you finally get to use it,
Yeah.
outside, So I don't know how I feel. This past few days have been very strange.
Very strange. I probably trust you more than any person in this group. And she pulls that book out again. Did you feel anything when you touched this book before you handed it to me?
Not really, but I think it's because I was covered in that guy's blood. You know what I mean? Like, oh my god, I'm covered in blood. I don't know
you were
what
covered
book
in
I'm
his blood.
holding.
Yes, absolutely. I know this sounds so crazy, but will you hold the book for me, please? I don't want to keep it on me.
Sure. I take the book from her. I grab the book from her petite, little, small, delicate hands into my massive,
Big,
gargantuan,
massive,
giant,
masculine, strong,
vascular hands.
Vascular.
The book is red and it also has words on it and inside of it. It looks like a encyclopedia almost, like a Encyclopedia Britannica, but like the 5th edition. Like
the 5th edition.
A through B.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
for
probably
sure.
what I would say it looks like if
For
we're
sure.
getting descriptive.
She's looking at you really carefully to see if you're reacting in any type of way.
I'm gonna open it up and kind of read the content. Be like, this is gibberish.
Seeing this going on, Zendra's gonna lean over to Pounder and be like, I thought he could, but it's good to know he can read.
Totally fair.
Perfect.
Takashi, I know you hung back, and I assume whatever you talked with him about, you wanted to keep quiet, but did everything go okay with your private talk with Mordecai?
Yeah. I'm no concern or anything like that, I'd let you guys know if it was urgent.
Fair enough, I'll leave it at that.
Our ragtag, heroic, somewhat group of misfits
Thank you.
begin to make their way through Rock Shield, as I'm sure they will have much to buy and glean from Lala's insights on twisted goods of the realm and what have you, and have a lot to think about and decisions on where to head next. That is where we will end the episode for tonight. Great job, guys. This is
Good job, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good job.
Perfect. Alrighty. Well, that was fun. Thanks everyone for tuning in to this week of Adventurers Archive. I can't wait to see you all next week.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.